Today, Roe versus Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court, and the culture warriors of the conservative base are just so happy, just thrilled to death because they think that somehow they've outlawed abortion. Oh my goodness, which of course is not what has happened. Um, it's just like it's just like a party balloon, one of those long, skinny party balloons. You squeeze it at one point, the air goes to another. If a woman has the means to obtain an abortion, as has always been the case, um, she can go to a state where abortion access will be expanded uh, because that state believes that women should have access to abortion. Now, Planned Parenthood has never done only abortions. They've also been very active in birth control, separate from abortion. Now, these things are going to be less available from Planned Parenthood because of their less availability of abortions as well. And that's going to cause more unplanned pregnancies. The purpose of this is the idea of these culture wars, because the only people this affects is women who are not of my skin tone. A general truth that's generally true. The people who have the ability, who have the resources, who have the money, this ruling affects not at all. They have had access to abortion. They will continue to have access to abortion no matter where they live. A woman who has a little bit of money can just go get on an airplane, make an appointment at a clinic, a women's clinic, not in her state, but one that still has access to abortion. Fly to that state, check into a hotel, go have the abortion done, spend the night at the hotel if she needs to, and fly back the next day. There is no restriction on her doing that. And so for women who have money, this ruling has no effect on them whatsoever. The people, of course, it does affect are those women who are in poverty. It is not just people in poverty who are having sexual relations. People across the income scale are having sexual relations. It is not an issue of of one group. Oh, they're nasty, they're promiscuous, and the other group, oh, they're fine, oh, they're good. No, it's just one group has access to abortions, and the other we're trying to restrict their access to abortions. Why? Because conservatives, the purpose of a conservative is to conserve their privilege, to conserve a social system that works for them, in which largely they are exempt from the justice system, exempt from the difficulties of poverty, largely a general truth that is more generally true of one segment of the population than another. We want to make sure that people stay in their place. And this is one more method of doing so. Republican leadership does not care about abortion. They care about having a hot button issue by which they can lead the evangelical base by the nose and work theft, killing, and destruction. We have to always go back to the idea that that is the point of being a conservative. It is to conserve what they have. It is to conserve the way things are, because the way things are benefits people like me. It makes sure that people like me have those benefits. We can stop abortion. It's not hard to do. It's the same way that you stop any other ill, and it is not by restricting the supply. When you when you enact prohibition and restrict the supply of alcohol, of the sale of alcoholic beverages, there's still the demand. It's still there. The supply will show up, and then you'll have the mob moving in to supply very often poisonous product that kills people, but that makes no difference. People must buy it, or else the mob shoots the place up. You can have the war on drugs. Let's restrict the supply of drugs, but the demand is still there. So you can throw millions in jail, but so long as the demand is there, the supply will come. This is the same thing as abortion. Republican leadership does not care about the unborn. What, as I say, what they want is an issue that they can get power and money. Keep in mind, all throughout history, that's the reason for unethical leadership and unethical politicians and unethical people. Power and money. And as I often say, if they're young enough, then if they can maintain an erection, then sex as well. But power and money. And that is the reason that Republicans are going to focus in on abortion. You stop abortion not by restricting the supply. You stop any social ill not by stopping the supply. That doesn't work. I might be a whole lot more amenable to it if it worked. But instead, you stop the demand. How do you stop the demand? By doing good. Alcoholism is not nearly the problem that it was during just prior to Prohibition. We made that difference by changing conditions in the inner city. Very often inner city conditions can be pretty horrible, but they are nothing like the horrible tenements that were the case prior to Prohibition. And we stopped a large section of the ill of alcohol by doing good within the cities. You stop abortions by doing good, by helping families, by providing affordable, quality childcare. Now, here's the reason. Again, conservatives hate that idea. You will never find a conservative that wants to support affordable, quality childcare. One, that really gives the lie that they care about the unborn, because as soon as those children are born, they don't want them to have quality childcare. That's awful. If you cause childcare to cost $500 a week for 2 children, I don't know, in different parts of the country, different amounts, but a prohibitive amount a week for any sort of quality childcare, then you keep people in their place. If they have a child, you keep them in their place. So if you restrict their access to abortion, they have children, there's no affordable quality childcare, they can't work, and you've kept them poor. This is the point of being a conservative, to conserve things as they are. The old wine is best. Don't show us anything new. Goodness, you want people to read? No, leave that to those nasty liberals and Quakers and people who are in favor of public school. Chew. No. Only the wealthy should be able to read, because that way we can conserve the way things are, and I can conserve my privilege. And that is the reason that Republicans are so fixated on abortion. It is not that they give a rip about the unborn for Republican leadership. We can reduce. Another way is newborn leave, paid newborn leave for parents, health care for all people. Of course, if only certain parts of the population have access to health care, and then you have kept the status quo. You have conserved things as they are. So if you want to stop abortion, if you want to keep it from happening, you do that by doing good. If you want to destroy people's lives, keep things as they are and make sure you keep the privileges and the society that is done so well by you and me, then then you want to make sure that we stop the supply of abortions, and that is what uh, what conservatives have not especially done. The rate of abortion is now just going to go up because the demand goes up, and we live in America where the demand is, the supply appears. There is cash to be made, there is bank to be taken, and you can get it by producing a supply where the demand is. If you shove down, if you try to compress the supply, the demand just goes up, and we'll probably see a bump. Here's the trick. You'll probably see conservatives say in a year or a year and a half, or probably right away because they don't care about facts or anything. Look, the rate of abortion has gone down. Well, yeah, you've made abortion illegal. So how many people now are going to walk into a room and somebody's going to say, "Did you get one of those criminal abortions?" that is a recipe for someone saying no, no matter what, and or and so. But the fact is, it'll just increase the rate of abortions. The way we decreased the rate of abortions is by making them safe, legal, and we did make them rarer and rarer and rarer year after year after year for the past 20 years. How? By keeping the supply safe and steady, which caused the demand not to swell up. You can do that by doing good rather than evil, rather than arresting people and imprisoning women and $10,000 fines here for this person or that person, and it's always the person who cannot afford a plane ticket to just fly where they need to go to get the abortion. But this is going to expand the number of abortions. If you're concerned about the unborn, then this is the last thing you want to be doing. But we are not concerned about the unborn. We never were. We're concerned about power and money and maintaining our own privilege. And that is exactly what the culture wars are aimed at. I want my way. I want the culture that benefits me. I want the culture that that expands access for people who look like me.